Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at just a really fascinating story in modern architecture.
Hmm.
It's about this high-profile project where, well, a super futuristic design got completely scrapped
Yeah, totally abandoned.
and replaced by something deeply traditional. It's a great case study, really, in how public feeling, community sentiment, and just the hard reality of fundraising can change everything.
It really can.
So, our mission today is to dive into the sources we have on the Ayodhya Mosque project. We want to trace how it went from this really radical modern blueprint,
Challenging, even.
right, to the plan they have now, which is all about embracing a Wadi architecture, something centuries old. We're trying to unpack the pressures, the community reaction, the money side, even some logistical hiccups.
Yeah, the bureaucratic stuff.
Exactly. What forced the Indo-Islamic Cultural Foundation, the IICF, to basically hit the reset button?
And it's such a useful lens, I think, for anyone involved in big public projects. It really highlights that tension, balancing innovation, trying something new with cultural expectations and tradition.
Especially when it's a community space.
Precisely. What happens when a design, maybe meant to signal progress, just doesn't click with the people it's actually for?
Yeah.
The whole thing could just stall. It's a lesson in maybe cultural pragmatism versus pure architectural ambition.
Okay, so let's start with that first vision, because the sources paint a picture of something really striking.
Oh, definitely.
The IICF proposed this structure. It was for that 5-acre plot in Danapur, Ayodhya, and it seemed deliberately designed not to look like a traditional mosque.
It was a statement,
Yeah.
an architectural statement, for sure. Trying to define what a modern Islamic center could be in, 21st century India, almost the opposite of a classical design.
Right, and the look itself, quite a contrast. The original plan had these, like, smooth, clean lines.
Very sleek.
Yeah, dominated by this huge skylit glass dome. And the bit everyone talked about, the image that stuck, was the main building itself, described as an egg-shaped, round structure.
The egg shape, yeah. Memorable, if nothing else.
Definitely memorable. And when you take away the usual visual cues, well, it looks more like modern art, maybe.
Yeah.
And critically, as the sources point out,
Mm-hmm.
no traditional domes.
None.
And no minarets. Those two things you instantly associate with mosques worldwide. Gone.
And you have to understand the thinking behind it, or at least the likely thinking. The ISCF wasn't just building a mosque.
Right, the whole complex.
Exactly. It was always planned to have a big hospital, 200 beds, a library, a community kitchen serving hundreds of people daily.
So, major public facilities.
Huge. And by choosing this modern, maybe even futuristic look, the architects might have been trying to emphasize those aspects of public service, the utility, the progressive function of the whole campus.
Kind of linking it to modern India, maybe, rather than just religious tradition?
That could well have been part of the intent, highlighting a kind of secular service role alongside the spiritual one.
Okay, so the intention was forward-looking, progressive, but as we know, intention doesn't always equal acceptance.
Not even close sometimes.
And this is where things started to go wrong, wasn't it? That ultra-modern approach, it just ran straight into a wall of resistance.
Yeah, and it wasn't just people saying, oh, I don't like the look of it. It was deeper than that.
Yeah.
Emotional, cultural.
How so?
The sources suggest that local community members, pretty much immediately, expressed real frustration. They felt it was, quote, too modern.
Okay.
And, this is the key part, that it didn't look mosque-like. It didn't read as a sacred space in the way they expected. It lacked that, visual language of reverence.
And that lack of recognition that it didn't feel like a mosque, that must have been instantly damaging. It's more than just taste, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
It sounds like the modern design kind of cut the emotional connection the community needed.
I think that's a good way to put it. For a sacred building, the design often needs to feel anchored. Theologically, historically, visually. When you ditch familiar shapes like minarets or domes.
You lose that instant identification.
Exactly. And for a project this big, relying on support, the immediate financial impact of that emotional disconnect was, well, catastrophic.
Okay, let's talk about the money. Because no funding, no project, end of story.
The financial pressure hit hard and fast.
Yeah.
It seems to have been the main thing that really forced the change. We know this community unhappiness led directly to a definite lack of confidence, maybe hesitancy among potential donors.
The funding pipeline.